When a word comes only from the mouth, it doesn't go far. But when it comes from the heart, it can move mountains. Some say they are a divine being experiencing a human life, but they think that eliminating their humanity will make them holy and divine. But my path is different. I totally embrace my humanity, its pain, suffering, and joy. Only then I realize what love is. If a so-called enlightenment experience has stopped you from saying, I can be wrong, then it has led you to an illusion. A kundalini experience does not free you, not even knowing that you are the self. Knowing to say, I am sorry, when required. So let us briefly what I tried to communicate to you in the last couple of minutes. And what I would like to really stress a little bit is that the spiritual life, the spiritual journey is very, very beautiful, but it can be at times a little bit challenging. And as some of I've started my spiritual path when I was about 18. That was 55 years ago, living in the East for quite a few years. And I've been through a very interesting journey in the sense that there have been living with some great gurus, some very, very interesting and uplifting experiences to do with experiencing bliss, realizing, oh, that is my true nature, is not what we think, this, perishable material shape, but, there is an energy which is eternal and so forth. So you go through some very, very beautiful and uplifting um, realizations. One thing it took me a long time, though, to understand is that very often within those experiences, even for a respected teacher, there can still be some traps we have to look for. And what I'm referring to is that in the midst of that spiritual beauty that starts arising, there is very often a light but very strong ego that can arise, which says, wow, I am enlightened. And therefore I can do no wrong because I'm always in the light. And so there is a kind of perfection. And that is expected to be accepted by the disciples. So very often, some disciples can object, or friends or family, it doesn't have to be the disciples always, but they can object to certain things we do, we say, look, that is not right, that is not on. And what it does, it creates in us a certain irritation, anger. What do you mean? You questioning me? I'm an enlightened being. I've seen the light. I know my true nature. I know my true self. And so we start making the other person, the disciples, have a reaction of feeling certain guilty, or what have I done, what have I said. And it can be quite common at times. A lot of the teachers rise above it, but it's very challenging and it's not always very easy. And in reality, to me, the real liberation flowing with the beauty of life is really the realization that, yes, I've experienced certain things, but I'm just very common like anybody else. Because I might have had a spiritual experience, but there are people that are saving lives, are giving so much of themselves. They've got so much love and tenderness in their lives. So that tenderness and that kind of love can mostly come when we are not attached to a big image of ourselves. So it takes a little bit of vigilance, when this spiritual ego arises, um, to recognize it. And it is okay to have a certain ego, a certain I, because that's the beauty of this world, to experience the individuality in the midst of the universal truth. Um, so it just takes a little bit of awareness, not to make some people that come to learn from us, making them feel guilty. Oh, how dare you contradict me? Don't you know I'm enlightened? Um, you're putting up resistance. No, I am not the one up here and him down here, so he has to uh, follow me blindly. He might really uh, teach me something very important. A child, a pet, uh, all things can teach me certain things. So the beauty of certain spiritual realization is to be like a child, just learning from life, learning from everybody. Yes, at some time some people can be a nuisance, like we can be a nuisance, and then yes, we have to have the force to say, hey, enough. But apart from that, just work on letting go certain resistances, certain senses of superiority, of revenge, of saying, "How dare you?" not to do or believe in what I believe. So when we let go of that, then life does become even sweeter. And when a lot of difficulties arise, a certain love and a certain strength will come to you. The love and strength to say sometime, oh, I think that I got that wrong, I'm sorry. Or sometime when you see that no, that's an injustice to which I will say no, you can say it, but standing on a very good foundation, because you are not fighting for your ego, but you are fighting for certain realities. But you are, as much as you can, in a dialogue with others while doing that. So that's more creative. So, okay, so, watch a little bit the traps. Yes, look at the sky, but make sure there are no stones you can, fall over on the street, and find your own balance that way. But remember, before you can have that sense of being everything, you have to learn to be a nobody. And even when you then see everything, still don't forget that you are a nobody, and that is the beauty of life. Thank you, my friends. All the very best.